Smoking dramatically increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, including heart disease, heart attack, and stroke. When cigarette smoke is inhaled, toxic gases pass through the lungs and into the bloodstream, causing every organ to be exposed to these toxins. Tobacco within cigarettes contains nicotine and many other compounds. As the compounds burn, thousands of harmful chemicals are released. Many of these chemicals are known to cause cancer.
Specifically, smokers were more likely to have redundant or saggy eyelid skin, bags under the eyes, baggy skin on the cheekbones, also called malar bags or festoons, nasolabial folds or laugh lines, upper and lower lip wrinkles, and jowl by the body. Collagen is a type of structural protein in tissue, and a study from 2002 found that certain types were synthesized about 20% less in smokers, leading to premature facial wrinkling and poor wound healing. And don't forget,
what if you could see what cigarettes were doing to your insides? What if you could sit back and watch your lungs slowly blacken and wither? Or your heart enlarge as it struggles to keep you alive? What if you could see the cancer garden growing every day just beneath your skin? Would you still smoke?
What you see here is a smoker. This gentleman was one of my best friends. He was strong in life. So in lifetime, he smoked a lot. He died of smoking. Look at the cigarette in his hand and look at his blackened lung shown up between the ribs on the left side. When you smoke every day, the tar of the cigarettes will accumulate at the surface of the lung and destroy lung tissue. Shortness of breath, and a number of diseases like stroke, like heart attack, like eye disease, even dementia. So look how your lung should look at. When you don't smoke, it looks like that, white, beautiful. But when you're a smoker, it takes only a couple of years and the lung will become black like this one. A couple of years later, you may get lung cancer. Look, with this lung you cannot live a long time. You can only take your last breath. When you look into the lung, it looks not much better. A healthy lung looks like that. The lung tissue is red and very good distributed and runs through by blood. But when you smoke a lot, then the lung tissue will suffer and you will have these little pieces of lung destroyed. It's called emphysema. And finally, it is shown here in this slice. You see it's a bigger lung cancer here, and this person died of that lung cancer. Smoking considerably damages our arteries, our blood vessel system. Most markedly this is the case in the brain and in the heart. There's a coronary artery or heart. And when just a tiny twig of this artery, like this one, is broken, damaged or narrowed, then the tissue afterwards, which is supplied by the arteries, will not survive and will die. And it will cause in the brain stroke, in the heart infarction. Smoking indeed affects all blood vessels.
Few people know about cigarette smoking and the negative impact on bladder cancer. There is a very strong association with cigarette use and bladder cancer. Even fewer people understand that in our younger age population, kids who smoke, that's probably the biggest reason for erectile dysfunction when it relates to blood flow problems. Cigarette use constricts the vessels. Cigarette smoking decreases the blood flow to the penile shaft. And what does that mean? Inability to penetrate, poor erections, early loss of erections. So cigarette smoking is bad news for a whole bunch of reasons, but it also is a major, major cause of impotence. And we're talking about men, but we're seeing more women statistically smoke than they used to. We know that our understanding of sexual dysfunction in women is not where we're at with men, but we believe that the models are similar. We believe that there are analogous structures, the penile shaft and blood flow, and analogous structures in women, the clitoris and blood flow. And if we need engorgement of the clitoris for vaginal lubrication and an increasing target, if you will, during intercourse, an increasing ability for that organ to be stimulated, what happens if we smoke? What happens if women are smoking? And what happens if women are smoking and have the same impact on the blood flow to the clitoris? We have less engorgement. We have less blood flow to the vaginal tissue. We have less lubrication and less sensitivity.
Ziektes als Crohn, psoriasis en reumatoïde artritis. Die patiënten hebben daar een teveel van en door dit IgG wordt dat teveel weggevangen. En het zijn redelijk gecompliceerde medicijnen om te maken. Je maakt gebruik van biotechnologische technieken om deze medicijnen te produceren. IgG's maken. IgG's zijn eiwitten en dus de eiwitten die uiteindelijk zich binden aan het TNF-alpha, waardoor dat niet zijn werking kan doen. Hoe wij die eiwitten maken is in een wat wij noemen een fermentor of een bioreactor. En het eerste stuk is dat de cellen eerst moeten groeien. Je moet voldoende cellen hebben. En in de fase waarin de cellen het IgG, het eiwit, gaan produceren, het zit in die bioreactor.
Is a collection of plants from around the world. Every plant that Dr. Merlin points out has compounds that are being used today as medicines. He explains that plants don't actually produce chemicals for us. We just use them.
This one over here is very interesting. It is actually native to a large island called Madagascar off of Africa, which has a high percentage of unique species. This one from Madagascar is known as the Madagascar Periwinkle. And there are chemicals in this plant which have been very useful in helping cure Hodgkin's disease. This is known as the kava plant. Generally, and in Hawaii known as ava. In the lower part, what we call the rootstock, are what we call lactones, and these are lipids, fatty-like substances. These chemicals, when, for instance, if you take a part of the rootstock and chew on it, your mouth will get numb, and therefore it was valuable for if you had a toothache. So this is one that was found by Pacific Islanders maybe over 3,000 years ago.